Hey, this is Kat from Red Mountain Shaman, and I share shamanic wisdom through dreams, visions, nature, synchronicities, intuition, channeling, art, music, photography, and shamanic journeys. Welcome back to my channel. So first I'm going to go over some things that came to my attention this week, and then after that I will be sharing a channeled message I received from Yeshua today after I kind of asked him all of these things. So the first thing I noticed was, if you remember last week, somebody asked me what I thought about the boats or our U.S. military being in the waters near Venezuela. And I said I felt like they're taking out the cartels and probably some sort of human transporting. And sure enough, 2 days later, they took out a boat. So I don't think that is the end of that, because that leader is extremely corrupt. And many people have left that country, or rather fled that country, because it's run in such a corrupt way. So as I said, things will start in the U.S. and this liberation is going to start rippling out to the rest of the world. So we're going to start seeing that. And then this week, somebody in the comments asked me what I thought about the letter 17 in the alphabet. I probably shouldn't say it, and that how more and more people are talking about it. So yes, 17. I'm just going to use the letter 17 instead of the letter. But 17 is definitely resurfacing again, if you haven't noticed. And I personally intuitively feel that it's because of the military. There was a 17 drop that said the military is the only way. And I think that's true. And I really resonated with Tarot by Isabella's reading about the military being the only way. Like I said, I don't follow 17, but a lot of people have brought it to my attention that I will often bring forth their slogans and some of their information in my channelings from the guides. So that's why I think it's real, and that's why I think it's resurfacing, so that they can help us to understand what's happening and help us to trust. Okay, so another thing I noticed was on Lee Harris's channel, he had a really beautiful message about pets. And some of it was the same information I got. Remember when my cat Harley passed away, I was talking about how I felt we had a past life together in Egypt, and how he's continuing to work with me in spirit. So Lee Harris kind of talks about the same information in that channeling. So I'd go check that out. And also his energy reading on September, I really resonated with that. He was talking about how we need to be working on our own physical vessels right now. And if we've been having issues, maybe it's time to go see somebody about that, is what came through in his channeling. And I've totally gotten the same information from myself. I feel like Spirit has really brought it to my attention that I need to do more about my health issues. So I have a kind of a serious health issue. I've got a lot of scar tissue from a C-section that's like 20 years old, and it's creating a lot of problems now. So I'm starting to see different practitioners that do different modalities. So people who do it's called Graston technique. That's like a way to kind of help loosen up adhesions. And some massage practitioners do this, I found out. So it's just about doing research and trying to figure out what you can do to help your body kind of prepare. And I do think that we're going to have a huge energetic change to our bodies. So it is maybe perhaps Spirit asking us to just get our bodies up to par as much as we can physically first, before this huge energy change comes in. And a lot of people think that's coming from maybe a solar wave of some sort, and it does seem like there's a lot of solar activity. Then in somebody's session, I got a message about the healers will be coming together, and I saw almost like a network of healers, and they were all kind of connected. And it was shown to me that they will all be kind of like, these different modalities will be coming more together to work on the body and healing the body as a whole. And right now in our medical system, we have specialists. So they'll like focus on like maybe one thing in the body. But I think how the body works is it's all connected. So if you're just focusing on one thing, it often isn't addressing something else in the body that might be also affected by that thing. So it feels like we're going to have healing centers coming up. And I saw this person and she was like pulling a wagon of people that looked kind of sick and kind of low consciousness. So I think those of us who are like kind of ahead of the curve will be bringing forth these healing centers and coming together as a community. And I think this might be getting closer. If you haven't noticed, there's been an extreme attacks on RFK, and he is doing a lot to expose the old health paradigms. And pay attention to who is the most angry at him. And these are usually people who are backed by Big Farm, who get a lot of money from them. And especially somebody who's really PO'd right now is Bernie Sanders. And it's funny because me and my husband voted for him, but now he's turning out to be quite the trickster. I think his mask is coming off. Just if you want to go and look at some of these hearings where they're just attacking him, you can just feel their energy. They're just so mad that they're being exposed and that their money trail is going to be taken down. So Forbes covers a lot of those if you're interested. And then I saw somebody's post on Facebook, and it was talking about, I don't understand how spiritual people can be kind of involved in politics or interested in politics at this point. So I get it. I mean, I think people who, if you engage too much in it, it can cause some anxiety. So for me, I actually get like energized by it. I get excited about it, and I love to like keep up with it and kind of discern what's really going on behind the masks. So I wanted to read this post that I made. And the first post is about this kind of how I feel about, we all have different passions. And like one of my passions is discerning political activity. And like I said, it kind of energizes me, but somebody else might not be interested in it. So this is the post I composed. It says, I believe we are at the end of a cycle and about to move into a new one. This may be why I feel very drawn to what's going into politics right now. And yet I totally understand why some people don't feel the need to engage, especially the spiritually minded. It can be very destabilizing for some. It may distract from your sense of peace. But for me, part of what I feel called to do on a spiritual level is to decipher what is happening right now, because I believe it will ultimately lead to the complete dissolution of our entire divisive, corrupt political systems. I feel we will be moving into councils run by benevolent leaders who are truly in service to others and lead with wisdom and integrity. Intuitively, I also feel like many people will perceive this changing of the old guard as an authoritarian takeover. But what I perceive in reality is the process of liberation from these lower frequency enslaving systems. The frequency of Earth is rising, and it is causing the disruption and dismantling of all that is no longer in alignment with her new light. We are moving from fear and survival to love and abundance, at least those of us who are ready and are a match to this new energy. Everything feels interconnected to me spiritually, and some of us just feel very drawn to seeing through the illusions to bear our swords of truth. We are all teachers, and we are all students. Nobody is perfect, nobody is better than another. But it does feel like there are some of us who are volunteers that have incarnated at this momentous time on Earth with certain passions and gifts. So I say go with whatever direction you feel pulled to, because we all have our own ways of being, our own blueprints leading us through life, our own purpose and our own missions. This may look different from one person to another, so be true to you. So yeah, if you don't feel called to keeping up with the political stuff, then more power to you. Just do what you feel kind of drawn to, and just listen to your own intuition. So, and then this is a little post that I created about the attacks on RFK. They are in full attack mode towards RFK. My son was in and out of a wheelchair for 4 years from a severe poison dart, is what I'm calling it, injury. So I'm a mama bear about this. RFK and his info is what was part of the catalyst in helping me figure out what is going on in these corrupt institutions. And this got me on the path to holistic integrative medicine. Once I got on that path, my son was able to walk again within 3 months. I never looked back. I will never, ever play Russian roulette again with the poison darts. It's obvious that all these lobbyists and politicians and Big Pharma are absolutely terrified of him. I believe he's going to completely flip the script of health and medicine, which will destroy their horrific harms and profiteering schemes forevermore. So I pray that that happens. And possibly that is why the healing centers, I believe, are maybe getting closer to coming to fruition, is because this old paradigm has to be exposed and taken down first. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, so another thing I got to my attention is that the angry wave I was told was coming about a month or two ago seems to be expanding, with protests happening in even more countries. Seems like they're kind of the biggest in the UK right now, but they're expanding. I've seen some in Japan and Australia and a couple other countries as well. I was told about, I don't know, maybe about a year ago, I mentioned in one of my videos that travel would be expanding. And I noticed Ishmael Perez was talking about the aerospace program and how this will be bringing new travel options or ways of developing new technology that will help us travel with more ease. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about also last week, a couple people in the comments mentioned that Trump was going to pass away or that he was really sick. So I didn't feel called to talk about that last week because I didn't really see it as a threat. If you remember, if you've been following me, I saw this huge herd of deer, like kind of in my neighborhood. And I looked up a herd of deer, and it was connected to King David and how he was protected, and that deer energy was biblically a metaphor. So I do believe he's still protected. So I didn't see that he did pass away. That was predicted in last month, I think. So I think that the predictive programming of The Simpsons is no longer as powerful as it once was. And I think they try to do things to manifest certain events. And if enough people watch it and believe it, that it will happen. And they know, they're not dumb. When a bunch of people are thinking one thing, it can create a reality, and a lot of their predictions have come true. But it does seem like that predictive programming is probably losing some power because more and more people are becoming more aware and more conscious. What else? Oh, so I had another person that lives in my state, and he's discovering some corruption in the political arena. And I did a reading for him, and immediately what I was shown was the headquarters of the Mormon church, and the temple, I was just shown the temple was shaking. And again, I've seen this before too. The angel fell off. This already happened one time in an earthquake. So I'm not sure if an actual earthquake is coming or if it's just a metaphor for the shaking of the foundations of that religion. And it's funny because there's a channel called Dreaming with the King, and she just put out a video called Is the Wealth Transfer Biblical? And in that video, she talks about the spirit of Jezebel being in religious institutions. And everything she was saying, it just like, oh my gosh, that's the Mormon church, like to a T. So if you want to go learn about the spirit of Jezebel in religious institutions, in your own relationships, and what that looks like and how to recognize it and get out of it or avoid it, I highly recommend that video. Okay, so we watched this movie and it had like an English actress in it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's based on the book War of the Roses. And in this movie, we actually went to the theater, which we haven't been able to do very often because there's not very many good movies out these days. But this couple, it just kind of like showed their devolution and how they kind of just had such a dysfunctional relationship to the point where it just kind of, they self-imploded, basically. So I feel that this is a really great message right now. Like if you are in a relationship that is really dysfunctional and is not giving you peace, and the person isn't honoring you and supporting you in your path, there is no shame in maybe ending something so that you can make room for a new beginning. So last month, I was watching a documentary, and what really stood out to me was the number 999. And I think that this September 9th is actually a 999 because 2025 equals 9. September is a 9, and the 9th is obviously a 9. So that's a great energy to for death and rebirth energy, like the ending of the old to make room for new beginnings. So pay attention to your own life, your own relationships, jobs, whatever it is. It just feels like this is a really good time to take stock of, what you're holding on to and what's no longer serving you. Okay, so the next thing I noticed was somebody got arrested. It was actually 15 people were arrested for, I can't really say the word, but it starts with an E, Fraud. So I think I had a video and it has my license plate, and part of the license plate is T46. I do believe that he was the 46th winner. And I think more of that is going to keep coming out. So we're starting to see arrests on people who have done shenanigans with the E. I'll just say the E. It starts with an E. And then also I noticed the Speaker of the House mentioned that Mr. T is an FBI informant. So that's interesting. And then I also feel like there's certain medications that are starting to be exposed, specifically like SSRIs, and that they're creating more harm than good and creating mind issues for people and getting people to do things with weapons. So pay attention for that. There are actually, I'm not a doctor, but there are actually natural alternatives to this. And one of them, I will say, I can't prescribe anything, but you can look this up yourself, work with a naturopath. But natural versions of these SSRIs are, one of them is lithium orate, and it's just a mineral, and it's way safer. It doesn't have the side effects of these SSRIs. And I have a couple family members that are on this, and they've had a lot of problems. And even gone into things, what's called a fugue, where they've, one of my family members disappeared for a while, didn't know where he was, and he's on these medications. My mom has gone into facilities twice being on these drugs. So, yeah, just pay attention for that. I think that these chemical versions of these drugs are going to be more and more talked about. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention was it's coming to my mind, like something that I got like maybe 5-6 years ago in a journey. I had a journey with these Native American ancestors, and we were at this place that I feel has a very powerful energy in this journey. It's called Shiprock, and it's kind of near the Four Corners. And I do feel like the Four Corners area is a very special energy there. And I've driven by this place in person, doing grid work, And in this journey, the native ancestors created a big bonfire, and we were all in a circle, and they just kept saying, justice is coming, justice is coming. And I think this is also one of the 17 drops that they say. And this was before I even knew about 17. So yeah, again, I don't follow it. I don't know what their drops are, but I'll see other people mention these drops. I'm like, oh, I've gotten that from my guides. And it's happened several times. And in today's message, pay attention, because even Yeshua mentions some of these slogans that seem to come from 17. Okay, so I think that's about all I wanted to talk about of things that were brought to my attention this week. Oh, I wanted to also mention I had another owl interaction that was so amazing this week. We were on a walk, and we've been doing our walks at dusk lately, and maybe that's why the owls are coming out more. But this owl was so amazing. It was doing like a dance, and then I would copy it, and it would do another thing, and I would copy it. It would like make his head go in a circle, and we were just kind of copying each other, and it went on for quite a while, and he was very, very close to me. So again, I got that message that the boundaries between humans and animals would be lessening. So pay attention for that. And also, if you keep seeing the same animal and you've been seeing it for like years, it's probably not just a passing spirit animal message. It could be one of your totems. And I know I've been told the owl is one of my main totem animals. It's like always with me. And the owl has the energy of seeing through the darkness, seeing through illusion, wisdom, that kind of energy. So also I've been seeing more bears, pictures of bears on my news feed, so yeah, look up the bear energy. I feel that that's a collective one that keeps rising up right now. So I would do a little research on the bear symbolism, bear spiritual meaning, and the bear spirit animal, because that bear is just wanting to help humanity right now, helping us go within and prepare for what's coming. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to read this message that I heard from Yeshua telepathically, and I typed it out, and it's called The Full Moon Message, September 7th, 2025. Message from Yeshua: Dysfunctional systems will collapse. I greet you in love and truth. I come that you may find joy and peace in your hearts in the midst of great change, for nothing can shake those who stand in faith and trust. Trust the plan, for the Creator knows what is the best plan of action and is influencing those who are warriors of the light for the highest good and highest timing that will best serve humanity and this great awakening. I now address the concern of this week's presidential meeting with those who seek their own plans rather than the plans of Great Spirit. There is nothing to fear, for the one who acts as a catalyst to liberation and a bulldozer of the corrupt has been informed of the highest plans. As those who like to think of themselves as gods speak of manipulating the genes of organic creation, there is simultaneously another path rolling out. This is the path that leads to healing, health, freedom, prosperity, and abundance. When one is in the throes of conflict, one keeps his enemies close. But there is another layer to this, and it is partially about a race for control. It is about keeping ahead of the globalist and foreign entities. It is about using one's own medicine against them. There will be choices and options, as well as opt-outs. Free will is also at play, which allows one to begin to create their own reality. There is a wave of creation coming in, which we have been speaking about as a creative renaissance for several years now. This is why we encourage you to continue to hold your dreams close and align with the Great Spirit in your endeavors of co-creation. It is true that many dysfunctional systems are being exposed for what they are. We must move into new creations as these old paradigms fall in order to replace the dysfunction. A health system that keeps you coming back and keeps you dependent on chemicals without getting to the root of the issue or without the power of nature is a system that is largely operating in dysfunction. A political system that serves only in its own interest and power rather than the people is a system in dysfunction. An educational system that is limited in its offerings and does not often consider the desires of the parents is a system in dysfunction. A financial system that preys upon the poor with practices that keep them in debt is a dysfunctional system. A government that serves non-citizens above citizens is a government in dysfunction. Religions that hoard up wealth and assets for themselves while continuing to profit from their less fortunate followers is a religion in dysfunction. Energy that pollutes the earth and profits from those who struggle under the weight of its soaring prices is a system in dysfunction. Judicial systems that allow the dangerous to roam free and entrap the innocents is a system in dysfunction. You have been running on a treadmill to nowhere. Many have been working long hours just to survive and pay off the endless cycle of bills coming in each month. Some did not realize that the heavy taxation has been used directly against you and your highest good. Some did not realize that there are many layers of enslavement that has been put upon them. But others are awakening, and this angry wave is rising and saying, "No more." There are groups that clutch for ultimate control. But as the people rise in awareness, their power wanes. And this is not the only thing that will weaken these controlling forces. It is also the military. The 17th letter has a powerful frequency. I say this because my own teachings are contained within this book. The quantum field is also at play and is changing the frequency of Earth. There are many who have raised their hands to incarnate and assist with this great quantum shift. As many revelations continue to come forth this year, more and more people will be needing your light. They will be needing your understanding. Those who are ahead of the curve, as older souls, will reach out their hands to the younger souls. For we are all one. We are in this together. Many innovations are coming that will serve you better. The one you know as Tesla, the time traveler, is heading up a bounty of positive technology that will begin to free you from the shackles of old energy and old travel means. There are great surprises in store once the dysfunctional illusions are dismantled. Do not be afraid. Prepare to watch reveal after reveal as the masks are pulled off and those who have compromised their own integrity for wealth, power, and dysfunctional values are brought to justice. The changing of the old guard has begun. The bulldozer is in gear. The masterful puppeteers of illusion have had their day, and the curtain is closing on their play. Their final acts of rebellion will do them no good, for no heart can hide from the Most High. Let it be known throughout the heavens that the one true Creator is at the helm, and nothing can stop what is coming. My friends, lend me your ear. Take hold of what is yours, for you are sovereign creators, and this you shall begin to remember. You shall begin to embody this remembrance of your true selves. Use your swords of truth and stand with this knowing. All of heaven is with you now. Liberation is at hand. Thank you, Yeshua. So I asked him to have his energy help me pull the oracle card today. And there are so many synchronicities in this card with this episode. It's number 31, and it's called El-Haz, and it has a deer on the front. And this deck is called Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild. I love this deck, too. I highly recommend it. It says, you know what is correct. You understand that any gain which comes from denying your values and compromising yourself creates loss of soul. There are times when it may seem as though people who act without integrity are obtaining benefit without negative repercussions. Life can seem unfair if you limit yourself to strictly human perspective. Yet nothing escapes the attention of the spiritual world. Restorative action and balancing fairness is always in action at the higher level, according to divine timing and wisdom. Stay true to your integrity, put your faith in divine justice, and you will win in a way that brings benefit to many. Don't let yourself down with behavior or attitudes that are unworthy of you. You have divinity within you and a right to be in the world with dignity, grace, and integrity. Whether in a small matter of apparent insignificance to anyone other than yourself, or in big matters where you feel your soul, and perhaps the souls of others, are on the line, integrity will be your saving grace. You can be kind of heart, but also firm as you refuse to allow anyone or anything to convict you that lowering your standards of acceptable behavior is warranted. Be in right relationship with yourself and the divine. Justice will always be done, whether you see it happening or not. Put your faith in the good and true. You will successfully continue on your path. Others are relying on you to be true to yourself more than you realize. You are strong enough to live with honor. The Norse runic teachings of Elhaz brings elk wisdom. This is the soul quality of integrity, which places you on the right side of spiritual laws of the universe. In the Norse tradition, the qualities of personal luck, grace, power, and the energy and ability to succeed are known as Huminga. I probably am saying that wrong. This oracle foretells an increase in your Huminga and in your capacity to impart your spiritual energy into your communities. This puts you in a position of increasing power and influence, which your integrity will help you express wisely. In a position of spiritual influence, you will sometimes end up standing apart from others who may demonstrate less inner strength. By refusing to compromise what you know is true, you will be able to uplift those who are ready beyond ego limitations of greed, laziness, and boredom. You can bring about a new understanding that one's standard of living is about more than personal ownership of possessions. Rather, it's about the inner state of our being and how we choose to live the life we have been given. Your influence is not about encouraging others to make the same choices that you have made for yourself, but it's about learning to honor their own integrity to make their own wise decisions. In this way, you become a spiritual protector and guardian of those in your communities, helping each individual to grow according to their own journey. Elk encourages us to care for and protect each other. We are urged to be firm about what is just and what is not correct, and yet also to be merciful and have compassion in our heart, for we are human beings who stumble. If we are courageous enough to pursue a path of justice and truth, the Divine Father, an aspect of elk wisdom, expresses through the qualities of justice, nobility, and integrity. He will support and encourage us. The moment we are moved to harshness, even if we believe it is in pursuit of a noble cause, we will lose our spiritual footing, compromise our values of mercy and compassion, and undermine our strength of leadership. In this advanced spiritual citizenship, we recognize that our empowerment comes from our consciousness. We use our will to uphold that consciousness, not to attempt to dominate another, but to evoke a quality of soul that inspires others towards taking their own healing actions. Elk wisdom will, at some stage, bring us into a testing period during which we will feel challenged. We may question or be questioned as to whether we are being realistic or if we should just adopt the same lower frequency approach as most others seem to do. In your heart, however, you know that the moment you do this, you will lose yourself. As we pass through this initiation of elk wisdom, we will get to a place where, without any loss of passion for the healing outcome we desire, we realize that if we are willing to sell our soul to obtain results, then we have lost, not won. At this level of internal spiritual integrity, the divine can rely upon you to be a faithful helper in this world for loving higher purpose. You are trustworthy, a true devotee to wisdom. And so the appearance of Elhaz foretells a successful and visible soul mission for you in this lifetime. So, yeah, it's just saying, to be true to yourself is what I said at the very beginning of this. It's funny this card came out because I kind of wrote that a few days ago this week. That true leadership is like guiding others to their own path and their own wisdom, and not trying to force people onto your path, but just being an example and a light. And then we all have our different purposes, missions, passions, and then we all are working together to help each other to lift this world out of this old energy. So if you would like to have your own reading with me, please go to redmountainshaman.com, and you can go to my contact page and learn how to book a session. And if you could press the like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video with those you think might resonate with it, that really helps me out a lot. And thank you to anyone who has sent me tips, who has booked sessions, and who send me donations so I can keep my channel running. You can always go to my PayPal at the bottom of my contact page and donate there. Much appreciated. I hope you guys all have a great week, and so much is happening, so we'll see what Spirit wants me to talk about next Sunday. I make my videos every Sunday if you are new here and you want to follow, so you can expect a video just about every Sunday evening. So I'll talk to you guys in about a week. Take care.